Atlanta gave the Rams, again, a first-round pick as they look to draft Matt Stafford's replacement. The Rams had told me 6 months ago they weren't going to draft a quarterback in the first round. This was not the quarterback first-round draft. So the Rams got a second-round pick, a first-round pick next year in the draft. They'll have to draft a quarterback, a much better quarterback draft. And Atlanta, who already drafted an edge rusher, gave up a first-round pick for another edge rusher who, by the way, was off at least 8 to 10 teams' boards because of character issues. What are you doing? You don't late in round one in a weak draft give up a first-round pick for a much better draft for a position you drafted earlier on a player that was off many teams' boards. Lord! And conversely, again, save your empathy for the people who deserve it, you know? I mean, like burn victims and orphans. I mean, save your empathy. I don't feel sorry for some of these teams. Who did well? Shocking, the Harbaughs. Jim Harbaugh gets Naji Harris.
Well, all right. I want to talk about Atlanta Falcons before we start drifting into the Harbaughs. Yeah. I was live streaming this, and when I saw what the Atlanta Falcons gave up and what they drafted, I mean, they gave up more to draft James Pierce than the Giants gave up to draft a quarterback. I mean, it's just insane what they gave up, and especially when you compare it to what the Giants gave up. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And this is why I've been ripping the Atlanta Falcons. And I'm not an Atlanta Falcons hater. I want them to be good. I want them to be better. I've been pleading for them to make better decisions. But this is now back-to-back off seasons that they've completely fumbled. Paying Kirk Cousins all this money, giving him a no-trade clause, drafting Penix, that is a mistake. People try to act like that wasn't a mistake. It was. It was. Giving Kirk Cousins all of that money. People say, oh, why? Well, we drafted Penix. It ended up being a good thing. Well, then you shouldn't have signed Kirk Cousins. Well, we didn't know if he was going to be available. Well, if you knew you really wanted to draft a quarterback, well, then that's the route you take. You stay, forward in that path. And you certainly don't give Kirk Cousins a no-trade clause. And all the amount of money that you did off an Achilles injury. Just insane. And then the fact that you kept him, and this is what I kept saying. Don't keep him. Just cut him. Move on from him. Stop trying to play this game where you're going to try to trade him and get something in return. And it's already reported that the Falcons want too much for him because they know it was a bad move. And now they feel burned by it. They feel like they made mistakes. And they want to kind of overcompensate. And, you're just backed in a corner now. You gave him more money than you needed to. If you cut him, you would have saved some money. You're not really... What are you really going to get in return for him at this point? Not enough. And like I said, it's hard to do multiple things at once. It's hard to field calls and try to move Kirk Cousins and navigate the draft at the same time. You only have so much manpower to do all this type of stuff. You only have so much brain power. Show me you can do the layups before you can start to multitask. Show me you can just hold one ball in the air and toss it in the air before you start trying to juggle 15. And this is the nonsense that you get. This is the nonsense that you get. And the Falcons should be good. I'm a firm believer in Penix. I'm so excited to see Penix out there. But it's just like, what are you doing? What are these moves? It's just kind of absurd. That 2026 first round pick is valuable in next year's draft. Valuable. I mean, you essentially burned multiple first-round picks for the 26th pick for an edge rusher. And it's not even like the draft pick itself is inherently bad. That's the thing. It's not like, it's not like we're saying, I'm saying, oh, why did they draft how they drafted? It's not like it's the worst move to go out and draft who they drafted, but it's just how it unfolded and what you gave up, especially considering what the Giants gave up. When you just compare, pretty bonkers. They traded up to the number 25 slot with the Houston Texans. New York sent its 2025 second round pick and its third round and its 2026 third round. Whereas they sent their second round pick, their seventh round pick, and their 2026 first round pick. Make no mistake about it how valuable that first round pick is. And somehow the Giants managed to not have to give that up. Yeah, I know, again, it's like a second and a third, so we can do all that dance. We can do the whole song and dance we want, but I don't know, man. I really don't. And what should, which is wildly predicted that 2026 draft will be much deeper. And you don't know where you're going to be, the Atlanta Falcons, because let's say this season doesn't go according to plan, and you're kind of a higher draft pick. You're going to have teams, there's teams that want quarterbacks. There's going to be a lot of trade movement that you could have been in a position where you don't need a quarterback back now. You can trade back and get another haul, but you don't have that ability now in the 2026. You don't have a first round pick. It's just crazy to me, honestly. I saw this live, and I was live streaming, and I was just like, I couldn't believe, I was pretty stunned. And again, when you compare it to me, it's just what you see what the Giants did, and they drafted a quarterback, and they got less. I don't understand. I really don't. And did you think that he was going to go too? Like, I don't know, man. It made my head hurt. And I look at the Atlanta Falcons and I'm just like, you can be a really, really good to great team, and it's your own decisions that have directly led you to not be. You should have won the division last season, and it was directly your decisions that led you not to. That division was wide open. The Buccaneers got decimated with injuries, and it was your decisions that directly led you to not win games and ultimately get into the playoffs and win the division. It's when you watch and see how the last full 365 days have passed and the decisions that the Falcons have made. And this is why Colin's kind of ripping all these teams to be like, this is why you guys are bad. You keep making bad decisions year after year after year. And it's true. And you got to say it out loud. And it's not being a hater. It's not being negative. It's not being a downer. Go watch my earlier Falcons videos where I'm defending them, praising them, especially at the end of the season when they officially didn't make the playoffs. And I'm like, you got to be better. You got to be better. I've been praising Penix. I had a bunch of videos showing how Penix balled. He played his first 3 games were better than Jaden Daniels' first 3 games, Bo Nix's first 3 games, Caleb Williams' first 3 games. So, like, if you're a new viewer and you're just watching this, me talking about the Falcons, I could understand why you're like, oh, this guy's just a Falcons hater. But it's not true. Bro, I love Atlanta in terms of, like, the area. I love the people down there. They're some of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life. I met people down there that pretty much were just like, I didn't have a place to stay. And they're like, come over to my house. And I'm like, I'm a complete stranger. Like, what? And so it's just like, it's frustrating to see teams make bizarre decisions. And you got to think bigger picture, man. You got to think bigger picture. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll have egg on my face. Maybe this will be wrong. Maybe we'll look back on this and say they knocked it out of the park. But I don't know. I don't know. When I look at a team that has consistently made great decisions over the last like 3, 4, 5, 6 years, it would be the Rams. So there's just a sheer fact that the Rams got what they got. I'm automatically like, well, they won that for sure. look at their track record and look at the Atlanta Falcons track record. That's your answer right there. So yeah, I don't know. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Atlanta Falcons trading what they did to acquire pick number 26 and James Pierce Jr.? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.